Who just tweeted
Today
that?
on DNVR Buffs Live, my goodness, there's a pipeline that Colorado is building right now that could absolutely define the future for this program. Also, let's talk about the present because that's exciting too. Let's dive in. Let's go.
Squad. Big one today. Welcome into the Toyota Lounge, driven by your Front Range Toyota stores. Toyota, the official vehicle of DNVR. It's DNVR Buffs Prime Time. Oh boy, lot to get into. Week 12, Big 12 picks. Scouting Utah. But we start today with the emerging pipeline that will define the future for Coach Prime in Colorado. IMG to see you. We talked about it a bit yesterday. But my goodness, Steve Wiltfong with just an absolute bombshell tweet
for real
earlier today. A true Fong bomb, yeah. You saw the rumors yesterday if you were on Twitter, and Steve Wiltfong confirmed it. Nathaniel Owusu-Boateng and London Merritt back in Boulder in the middle of the week. But Michael Carroll, Alexander McPherson, Brett Collegier, Amari Jones, all coming this weekend. All high-profile 25 or 26 recruits.
Sheesh. Look, man, this is like one of those. This could be a defining moment. Like this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Could be a defining moment when we look back and say, that is when Colorado finished construction on the IMG pipeline.
Mm-hmm.
And that pipeline is just delivering wins and players and wins and players for a long, long time. There's a lot of blue blood high school football programs around the country. I'm not sure if any of them consistently pump out college-ready players, which is the number one thing that Coach Prime is looking for, the way that IMG does. And obviously, getting Jordan Seaton, I think, was the beginning of this, but also bringing in Cash Cleveland. Cash Cleveland being able to say that this was 100% a merit-based place when he got here, and he put his head down and put the work in and got into the starting lineup. Guys finding out that when they come here, they're going to play. When they come here, their family has very clearly piqued the interest of not just the players at IMG, but the coaches at IMG and the people involved around that program with Cliff Hill, who's involved in that program, coming with those guys out here. I mean, they're taking a good, hard, long look at what's going on in Boulder.
Mm-hmm.
And, I don't know if there's any, decision where it's like, we have made our decision. Colorado is where everyone goes now.
Right.
But that relationship will pay dividends on dividends on dividends if you're able to kind of finish the deal with more of these guys and have Colorado be IMGU.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. I said it yesterday. Deion Sanders is not just a good football coach. He is a program builder. He did it at Jackson State. We're currently watching him do it. The same thing, maybe even better, right here at Colorado in Boulder. And again, he needs a lot of credit for that because recruiting and developing Jordan Seaton, getting Cash Cleveland involved early and having him ready to go, again, for a game day and a raucous crowd, a raucous environment. Recruits pay attention to stuff like that. And again, it's a perfect match talking about this IMG to CU pipeline because IMG is probably the best high school football program at getting guys ready to play immediately at the college football level. And Colorado might be the one place in college football that you're going to be allowed to play early on in your college football career. So, again, I think that's just a perfect match at this pipeline. You know, this construction on this pipeline continues the way it's going. And, again, Jordan Seaton, Cash Cleveland, they're going to be kind of the guys at the top of that to start this potential pipeline from IMG to CU, and that's just huge.
I'd throw Alex Graham in there, too, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I mean, an early commitment in this class, but part of that visiting group that came with Julian Lewis back in June. Been committed for a minute now, too. He can be considered, I think, in the start, but you're absolutely right. It's all about what Jordan Seaton started, what he did in bringing Cash or helping to bring Cash Cleveland here, and what Cash has done to show that even though I'm a preferred walk-on and I might be, quote-unquote, undersized at the position, I'm going to come in and act like I've been doing this for years and years already and look like I belong.
Yep.
And you know that's something they're telling their guys at IMG right now. Like, hey, if you come here and you handle your business and do what you're supposed to do on and off the field, you can be able to play right away. Yep. And that's very attractive to young, talented high school football players, especially at a school like IMG.
And then, you know, George Hedgerman as well.
Yeah, of course.
Being in this program, having a relationship with these guys coming from IMG.
Bro, that was low-key a 4D chess move.
Yes.
Yeah, dude.
Yes.
That was a crazy thinking down the line move in the best way. That was dope.
Yeah, I mean, and it serves multiple purposes because, you know, being what I think his title is a director of leadership or something along
Leadership
those
and
lines.
engagement, something like that.
Yeah. He is amazing at that.
Yeah.
And just helping these guys learn how to lead, learn how to, you know, become better men. He's killing it at that. Then there's an additional relationship aspect of it. He has chops on offensive line. I saw him in a well-off video working with the offensive lineman. It's serving, you know, the Buffs in many ways. And this is kind of like what I love that chess analogy because this is what people didn't realize about Coach Prime. People were trying to judge him off of the Oregon game.
Yep.
The fourth game of his tenure at Colorado and be like, oh, no, can't coach.
Without Travis Hunter.
Cooked.
Crazy.
You know, and it's like, nah, man, you got to let this guy get in here and do what he does. Not just George Hedgerman, not just this IMG pipeline, but Coach Riz, like using all sorts of relationship, going and getting Rob Livingston. Yeah. Rob Livingston wasn't Coach Prime's best friend growing up. He tapped into all of the circles that he has access to and said, who do I need to talk to? And he got a long list of people, and Robert Livingston was on that. And, like, you know, now this entire coaching staff is so cohesive, especially compared to last year. It's like, man, this is only the beginning.
Truly.
The people who were saying that Coach Prime leaving after this season got to be in shambles right now.
No, they don't see this stuff, bro. They never see this stuff.
Not at all.
They really don't. I'm straight up.
I believe you, bro. I believe you. You're right. You're right.
They don't see it, and even if they do, they scroll right by it.
Yeah, of course.
For sure.
IMG right now ranked the 20th football program, high school football program in the country, according to the Macy ratings. They got a bunch of guys, and it's clear that there's interest in CU. This is a massive visit weekend, so if you're at Folsom Field, you see recruits in the stands or on the sidelines, show them some love. And
what a time for them to be in Boulder. I think Colorado is a really good matchup this weekend. Yep. They're going to be able to show out in front of the home crowd. And, again, it's going to be an electric atmosphere that I think recruits are going to walk away from saying, I think this is the place I need to be.
Well, let's dig into it then. Scouting Utah. What side of the ball do you guys want to start on?
Either one. You're the driver.
Yeah.
All right.
Tell us where to go, man.
Let's start with the defense because I think that's more straightforward. What they want to do on the defensive side of the ball. They've been one of the better defenses in college football the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And this one, while they have had their offensive struggles, the defense has done their part in a lot of games and have put them in position to win. It's a stout defensive line. They have some players who can win one-on-one. Number 7. I just forgot his name already. But he's their best pass rusher. They do have some big guys in the middle that like to clog up running lanes, though. Van Fillinger is his name, number 7. This is a secondary, though. They want to match up with you on the outside, one-on-one. It's a lot of single high cover 1, a lot of cover 3.
God bless them.
And they're going to blitz you. And they're just going to run man coverage behind it. They truly trust their guys. But, man, if you watch
There's
TCU...
no way they can bring that strategy in this weekend.
Well, if you watch TCU and Houston, those teams got them deep and on man beaters a lot.
Yeah. There's no way they can bring that strategy in here, because that was my main takeaway too from watching this team is they have no problem going 1 or even 0 sometimes.
Yeah.
They went
Yeah.
0 several times late on BYU.
For sure.
And I mean, this goes all the way back to the TCU game last year. I was like, you can't beat this team with man coverage. Now, you can get to Shedeur with some of those big blitzes. I sincerely hope that Shedeur, if they blitz like that, literally just plays 500 with Travis Hunter the whole game. I mean, you throw 5 one-on-one go balls for Travis Hunter, and you're going to get 4 catches and a pass interference.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that was, I just watched that and just thought, there's no way. I don't think they're going to do this. I think they're going to try to throw a curveball and maybe show some of that stuff and back out of it, because they don't have the guys to do that.
It's who they are, though, and especially when you have an offense that is inept, to say the least. You know, having quarterback issues, having trouble scoring points. Defensively, you got to do some things to try to shake things up and try to force turnovers, try to get strip sacks, big plays defensively. So again, that's kind of who they are. And Cash Cleveland today or yesterday, on the whatever, what show is that? That's Romy show. Romy show.
Yeah.
Cash said that he noticed watching Utah film whenever they're playing cover 1, they're bringing pressure with that. So this is obviously a tendency that they have shown, and something that, again, they have to do based on their personnel offensively. But with that, there's going to be a lot of opportunity for big plays both in the run game and the pass game. If you can pick up that initial kind of surge, twisting, kind of defensive linemen and linebackers blitzing, there's going to be a lot of room behind that, especially in the middle of the field, particularly where, you have linebackers blitzing, you have a deep safety. There's going to be a lot of room in the middle of the field, intermediate routes. That's obviously where LeJontay gets busy. Travis running those in-breaking dig routes. That's going to be a big day for, I think, both of those guys in particular. Screen game as well.
Yep.
I think, like you said, mentioned yesterday, I think that's going to be something that Coach Shermer should continue to tap into as well on the perimeter.
For me, I would love to see them go to the screen game immediately.
Yeah.
And the reason why is Utah, if they want to come in with that strategy, is essentially going to say, we're going to live and die by this, but we know we're going to hit him.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want them to be able to do that. I don't want them to even say, like, heck, I don't care if they score long touchdowns. We're going to hit Shedeur all day and make his life miserable.
Yeah.
Force them early to consider something different. Because the way that this team has been blocking on those screens right now, if you want to bring pressure in the middle and you can just throw it outside to Travis Hunter or even Will Shepard, who was amazing at this, and you can get 3-on-2 or 4-on-2 blocking out over there, that's going to be a long, long day for them. And if you make it easy, because connecting on those goal balls is at least a challenge. If you make it easy by just connecting on these screens and popping those early, they're not going to be able to stay in that.
Yep.
And another thing this receiver room for Colorado does really well is blocking, both in the run game and in the pass game for their fellow receivers. I mean, Travis Hunter is good at a lot of things. He also might be the best blocking receiver on this team. Will Shepard obviously can get it out the mud too, and even the young guys in the smaller guys in the slot, LeJontay, Jimmy as well, kind of get after in the run game. So that's something that I would like to see tapped into for sure on Saturday.
Yeah, just going back to your point, RK, I think I'm very interested to see if they just stick to who they are and what they've shown on tape, or if they try and mix it up because of what CU brings. Because CU is easily the best team they've played so far.
And to your point, Scott, of that's who they are, they're going to stick with it. The reason they started blitzing so much is because they don't have guys who can get home on their own.
Right.
And everyone knows that if you allow Shedeur to be comfortable back there, you're cooked.
Yeah.
So they might say, you know what? Let him throw a couple 65-yard touchdown passes. What we're not going to do is just let him scalpel us to death with with the easy stuff.
You're right. They don't have like a true pass rushing threat. Like they kind of got to get it done by committee. And as much as they blitz, they're still only 10th in the conference in sacks. Only got 16 this season so far. So that's something to watch out for.
All right, let's take our first break, and then we'll continue on the other side of the ball. Shout out to the homies over at Game Time.
Game Time?
It's just where you go to buy tickets. NFL, CFB are heating up right now. NHL and NBA seasons are now hitting their stride. If you're trying to go to a game, not just games, but concerts, events, whatever's going on in your city, hit up our friends over at Game Time. Use that Game Time Picks feature to see the view directly from your seat and find the best deals in the stadium. Take all the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the promo code BUFFS, BUFFS, for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code BUFFS, BUFFS, for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it?
Game time. Also, shout out to Bet365. The updated odds today. Colorado and BYU tied at plus 150 to win the conference. And I'll drop down here to make the playoffs and tell you that they now have Colorado at plus 120 to make the college football playoff.
Wow.
Crazy.
What a time.
What a time to be alive.
Unbelievable.
Wow, man.
Hopefully, you were over at Bet365 nice and early and got in on those numbers when they were astronomical compared to what they are now.
My Big 12 title bet is looking so good right now.
I don't even want to talk about what's at stake. But get over to Bet365 and use the code DNVR365 when you do. And what you can do then is unlock $150 in bonus bets when you use that code DNVR365 and place a bet of $5 that settles. So, bet on anything $5, get it to settle, boom, $150 unlocked in your account. Pretty cool. And you get 2 free months of Altitude Plus if you want to get a look at the Avs and Nuggets. So pretty cool stuff over at Bet365. Again, download the app, use the code DNVR365. Must be 21 or older and physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER.
All right, back to scouting Utah. Any more thoughts on this defense before we move on?
Obviously, Utah has the number 1 defense in the conference in terms of yards allowed.
And third down numbers, I think,
that's
in
where
the
I was going
country.
to go, too. They're amazing on third down.
Yeah.
Best, obviously, third down team in the Big 12. Opponents are only converting 23% of third downs against Utah, which is something to watch out for. And also, Utah is really good in the red zone as well defensively. Second best red zone defense in terms of percentage in the Big 12. Only behind Colorado, of course, but that's going to be a challenge for Colorado to finish drives with touchdowns because, this Utah defense does have a penchant for, forcing offenses to kick field goals when they get in close. Colorado's going to have to finish drives to, have the result that they want on Saturday.
Yeah, and I'll just add on, everyone is expecting a win and an easy win here. And I just don't want people to think it's going to be easy against this Utah defense.
It won't be.
No.
It's going to be hard.
Best defense in the conference.
And like I said,
for sure.
I don't think, I think that if they want to go man blitz as often as they do, they will get burned. But also there are going to be times where they make plays.
Yeah.
And so going back to kind of what I've talked about a few times with the fans is fans got to bring it, man. And don't get anxious and nervous and lose your energy when there's tough stretches in this game because Utah will make it tough. They have dogs on defense.
Yeah.
There's a reason why every one of their games is in the teens or the 20s.
Yeah.
So just don't expect it to be easy.
To the offensive side of the ball, my initial takeaway after watching a few games was this might be the same exact game plan that they threw out last year against Colorado. They want to run the ball. They want to control the clock. And by the way, controlling the clock, I don't know if you said this or not, Scott, but through 9 games, Utah leads the Big 12 in time of possession.
33 minutes a game?
33 minutes a game. They want to just bleed the clock. They're very reliant on big plays, but that's going to be very different now because no Money Parks and no Brant Keithy.
Brant Keithy is huge. That's a huge loss for them.
And Micah
Money
Pittman.
Parks is easily their most explosive player.
Yep. So it's just Dorian Singer on the outside now, really. They want to give Bernard the football. He's a really good running back.
Yeah.
He's up there in the conversation with your R.J. Harveys, DJ Giddens, Cam Scadaboo is best back in the Big 12. This is a good offensive line. They can pick up blitzes and pressures really well, and they work well with each other. And, man, they lean on teams sometimes. Against Houston, I mean, those guys are running 6, 7, 8 yards downfield with Micah Bernard. They will run a lot of play action off of that.
Yes.
That being said, Isaac Wilson. He can be a
Dog.
he can be tentative to pull the trigger, especially on underneath concepts and stuff. But he's not afraid to let it fly in play action.
He's got arm talent.
Pass scenarios. But how much is that going to happen this week when you only have Dorian Singer and no Brant Keithy? You're digging into like your 5th, 6th, 7th wide receiver.
Yeah.
You can pressure him into some throws and speed up his internal clock. He can also run, though, but a very inexperienced passer.
Yeah, I'm cooling my heat on Zach Wilson or Isaac Wilson this week because I don't think it's good juju.
Facts.
But I'll just put it this way: this is not one of the better quarterbacks that Colorado has faced this year.
Yeah.
And when you take that and then you compound it with the fact that he's without his best weapons, and Dorian Singer is a great receiver for what it's worth.
He is.
But I mean, it is going to be incredibly difficult for them to put the ball in the air. And because of that, then Colorado gets to dedicate more resources to them putting the ball on the ground, and I think it's going to be incredibly difficult for them to get anything going on the ground.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel like we said this for about 3 or 4 games this season. You stop the run, you win the game.
Yeah,
probably comfortably.
Yes.
And that's going to be the case again, this weekend. Like you said, Michael Bernard's a really good player, 6th leading rusher in the Big 12 this season. But this offense hasn't scored 21 points, more than 21 points in a game in 2 months. Damn near 2 months. They haven't scored more than 21 points since September 21st against Oklahoma State. It's November 14th.
And Oklahoma State's the worst team in the conference.
Exactly. So
they were passing all over Utah, actually.
Also, Isaac Wilson hasn't completed 60% of his passes against any Big 12 team this season. He's played 4 of them. He's got 5 picks in those 4 games against a Big 12 team. So, again, if he's going to put the ball in the air, there's going to be opportunities for this Colorado secondary to take the ball away. Whether it's, him or Luke Batari, who, Luke Batari has 11 career pass attempts.
10 against Colorado.
10 against Colorado. He threw a pass in their bowl game in December as well. So, again, I would expect a lot of 2 tight end looks, even with the loss of Brant Keithy. A lot of 2 tight end looks, running the ball with Michael Bernard. He's going to touch the ball 25-plus times. And then off of that, they're going to play action and try to take their shots downfield with Dorian Singer and whoever else they line up at receiver. But, again, it should be a simple game plan, a familiar game plan for this Colorado defense this weekend.
Yeah, man. I just look at this. Look at it in the lens of last week, where you were facing arguably the best running back in the conference. I would say second behind DJ Giddens, but also a serviceable quarterback and a tricky offense sometimes to defend. Even with all of that, Colorado absolutely bottled up Taj Brooks in the first 3 quarters of the game when the game was hanging in the balance.
Yeah.
So if the challenge for Colorado is can you stop the run game of Utah, and you even have less to worry about in the other areas of the field.
Yeah.
Football is never as simple as just talking about it on a podcast, but this should really play into Colorado's hand and Robert Livingston's hand.
Definitely.
It should, but this is a good scheme also from Utah on the offensive side of the ball. They are very creative in trying to get their playmakers the ball. Obviously, they're going to be without a couple of those. They'll move the pocket for Isaac Wilson, give him chances to run or pass. As I said, he can run, and I think he gashed Oklahoma State pretty good for like 50 yards on a scramble. Get ready for crossing routes, too.
Yeah.
They love to make it easy on Isaac Wilson and his reads, especially in the short and intermediate field. A lot of crossing routes, so
watch out for the picks.
yes.
Maybe you'll get a home whistle.
Yes.
Yeah, that's on tape, right? That's if there's any way to beat this Colorado defense, especially recently,
cheat.
it's to run those pick routes and hope that the referees swallow their whistle. So yeah, I would expect a lot of that, and that's something Cam talked about Saturday after the game. It's like once we kind of get past the opposing offense's kind of first 15, their opening script, they settle in, and once they realize what they want to do offensively. This defense has just been locked down, particularly in the second half of games.
I just got to say this. If that game was even close last week, the story would have been about some of those missed pick calls.
Yeah.
And it's honestly some of the most egregious picking I've ever seen.
It was pretty crazy early
blocking
on.
downfield.
Yeah, like hands on the guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not just like even like I'm intentionally running into you. Like there was a guy, one of the first ones, he like finished with his left hand through the shoulder pads. I'm like, are we blind?
Coach Prime talked about it after the game. He was like, listen, we don't run defense like that. Like when we play a man, it's to not have somebody running wide open. And if somebody's running wide open, it probably means that they were picked or knocked off their route.
Yeah.
So that was just crazy, though. But shout out to the defense for working through it and still getting the job done.
Watching Utah on offense, I did get a little bit of Arizona vibes, though, in terms that this team, I think they're going to go into this game, look at Colorado, and go, they have an obvious talent advantage over us. I would not be surprised if they throw some trick plays, onside kicks. Yeah. Something to try and steal possession or shorten the field.
I mean, they did it last week, or Utah did early in that game with that receiver, pass that was picked off. It was a terrible play, but yeah, I think that was their first or second drive.
They ran that quite a bit too.
Yeah, so I agree with you though. They're gonna try to.
Tech tried the fake punt.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which, how do you run a fake punt into punt safe?
And it was a one possession game when they decided to do that too.
On their own,
executed
35.
too.
Yeah.
But, and you, again, just shout out to Coach Prime, but you can hear him before the play screaming, safe, 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 safe. So they're in safe. If I've ever seen anything like this, it's you get out there, you look at the look, and then it's on the punter usually to say, okay, no, they're in safe. We're not doing this.
Facts.
Yep. No, I think that this is absolutely something we'll see from Utah this weekend. This is kind of their season in a way. You could say that last week was because it was the rivalry game and all that. But they're sitting here at 4-5 with 3 games left to play. I mean,
they're trying to get the bowl eligibility if they can.
And it's Kyle Whittingham. This is a guy who's done this for 20-plus years. I mean, very experienced, has seen damn near everything that comes to college football.
Yeah.
And that library of film probably goes deep. I wouldn't be surprised if they pull something out for this weekend.
I'm sure.
That's really all I got, I think. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if it's just overall a similar game plan to last year. They're just going to control the ball and try to limit big plays.
It's just much, much different personnel out there for Colorado.
Absolutely.
Last year was brutal in the sense that Colorado was just completely outmatched. And they were getting bullied up front. It was kind of like 4 yards in a cloud of dust through most of the game.
Well, Colorado needed a trick play to stay in the game.
That being said, Colorado wins the football game if not for some egregious refereeing.
Terrible. RG had the perfect view of that.
He did. Well, and that one wasn't even the worst one because that one was at least debatable, the one in the end zone.
Yeah.
But the one on the sideline where he clearly didn't step out, and it would have been a top highlight reel play for Travis Hunter. Sick. Nasty work.
There you go. That's the report on Utah. We'll talk a little bit more about them tomorrow on the pregame show. We got some cool guests lined up for the pregame show already tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to want to tune in. All right, let's take our next break, and then we will get to Big 12 picks. Shout out to the homies at Empire today. They redid our studio flooring here, and, man, it's still perfect. Whether you need a floor for your home or business, hit up our friends over at Empire today. Schedule a free in-home estimate, and we've got a great deal with DNVR here. All listeners can receive a $350 off discount when you use the promo code DNVR. Some restrictions apply. See EmpireToday.com/DNVR for details. But we got you covered here from roof to floor. And Empire Today are the best in the business at taking care of your floors, home or business.
Also, shout out to our friends at Elevations Credit Union. And they're not just friends of us. They're friends of you. And they're also friends of the Buffaloes. They just dropped the Go Buffs Visa Signature Rewards credit card. And the cool part about this is every single time you use that credit card, you are donating to Colorado's NIL fund. And by the way, so we on the little pop out here have the gold one, which is also beautiful. But the black one with the gold buffalo is the sexiest credit card in the history of credit cards. And I'm going to need one just for that. So shout out to our friends over at Elevations Credit Union for creating this and for supporting Colorado football. Go to buffscreditcard.com to apply and see full card benefits and details.
Shout out to the Leos in the chat.
Leos?
Yeah. Leos. I saw some conversation about Leos.
Okay.
Yeah.
You big...
what are y'all?
I'm a Pisces.
I don't know. I was told I was something, and then I had that shattered.
Bro, what?
December 21st. So My whole life I've grown up thinking I was a Sagittarius, and then no, listen. And then I come here to work, and then Susie Hunter tells me all of a sudden that I'm a Capricorn because of the time I was born or something.
Damn, that's crazy.
December 21st is a cusp day.
Misinformation is everywhere.
It's
That's
crazy.
nuts.
Yeah, so I don't even know. That's what I was told my whole
Maybe
life.
Susie was lying to you.
Yeah, I don't
Maybe.
get too much into the weeds of like that, like birth time, and
Neither
like
do
moon
I.
rising and like sun rising and all that stuff. I don't really know about that.
What's
I
this
just know I'm a
stuff
Leo.
called again?
Astrology?
Astrology, yeah. Okay.
You
Leo
wanted to-
gang.
I didn't want to call it astronomy, you know.
You wanted to talk about NIL and Bryce Underwood.
Yeah, man. I just think this is a crazy thing that's going on right now. So I saw the Bryce Underwood NIL story, which if you haven't seen it yet, and who knows how true this stuff even is because it's all just leaks and hearsay. But On3 NIL posted, Michigan is prepared to offer LSU 5-star QB commit Bryce Underwood $10.5 million over 4 years, according to some person. And first of all, goodness.
For real.
I quote tweeted, I said, I hate that these numbers are getting out because if the kid ever struggles, fans will hold that number against him as if it's his fault for accepting that kind of money.
Yep.
And I'm getting pushback on that opinion of people being like, nope, once you accept that kind of money, you accept everything that comes with it and the criticism. And I'm like, well, you're saying that as if it's some sort of option to say no to that.
Yeah.
Right.
Like what? You're supposed to be like, nope, all I want is a scholarship.
I just want to play.
The amount of privilege you have to come from that position is crazy. No one can say no. And, you know, I'm not, he might go to LSU and take 8 or whatever it may be, you know what I'm saying? But like, you don't have no one can say no to that. Especially, you know, depending on where you came from. But then all of a sudden they become professionals and they're no longer 18. Like, no. And I'm not saying no college athlete should ever be criticized because that would be idiotic. Like, it happens all the time. But what I'm saying is he will be unfairly criticized even more because people know how much money he's making. And I don't think people necessarily need to know that. But I know people can't act responsibly with that information.
No.
And the amount of people who are responding to me being like essentially chomping at the bit to go yell about a 18-year-old kid is kind of crazy to me.
Yeah. No, I mean, you're exactly right. And what is Bryce Underwood supposed to do? Say decline it or say sorry
Like
for making that?
actually, I don't want that level of responsibility.
Right.
Can we do like 5.4?
Yeah. Like, what are we talking about? So I'm with you, man. Good point.
That's why the NCAA needs regulations, man. Whether it's to regulate how much money these kids can get or to hide it, or to be privacy rights, or like you said, these numbers at least just don't get out to the public.
Yeah.
One of those things need to happen, I think.
And you know, again, like I said, don't be mad at the kid for saying yes to the money.
No.
Be mad at the people who decided to pay that to someone who was unproven.
Facts.
The same way, like, you know, like when a player in professional sports gets a massive contract and underperforms for it, is that the player's fault?
Yeah.
Or is that the GM's fault for giving him all that money?
Yeah.
In my opinion, it's the GM's fault.
No doubt.
You know, there's some sort of reporting about, once he got the money, he
Sure.
stopped working, he's playing video games all night, whatever. Like, well, yeah, then there's a conversation there. But I understand the criticism and scrutiny that is going to come from that. I just don't think it's fair for people to take it out on him, the amount of money that they were willing to give him. Like he's supposed to say no or something.
And it also goes back to what Coach Prime was talking about a couple weeks ago, where it's grown men out there who just simply gonna be jealous of Bryce
yeah.
Underwood for making money that they would never even be able to fathom at 17, 18 years old. And that jealousy is gonna turn into envy and hate and online foolishness. And it's unfortunate, but it looks like where we're headed.
Yep.
All right, let's get to picks. Before that, actually, I just saw Brett Collier tweeted he's going to be in Georgia this weekend.
Okay.
Not going to Colorado.
Interesting.
So
Well, he's from here, so he can come back anytime.
he's a 26 kid. Yeah, there's no reason to freak out. All right, picks. Here we go. Lines courtesy of our friends over at Bet365. First one, tomorrow night, late game, 8:15 kickoff.
Yuck.
Houston traveling to Tucson to take on Arizona.
Yuck.
two teams and programs moving in different directions, it feels like. Houston on a bit of an upswing, it feels, and Arizona just, I mean, geez. The line is Arizona minus 1.5. Who are you taking?
I think after the Buffs broke UCF, I think we were just saying, like, we got to see it. We got to see them be unbroken before we can pick them again.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about Arizona. All of the reporting from media in Arizona, shout out to them, we love them, is about can they get the money to scrounged up to fire Brett Brennan.
Crazy.
That's all anyone's talking about right now, in basketball, of course. That's not a team that can go win a football game.
So you're taking the Cougars?
Yes, give me the Cougs.
I think I got Houston as well. I mean, it's just hard to pick Arizona to win a game right now, considering we haven't seen them win a game in I don't know how long. And Houston might have found something in Zion Chris, like in their quarterback, a dual threat guy. They've obviously leaned into the run, whether it's him running the ball or obviously handed off to a running back. But Zion Chris played really, 11 of 11 throwing the ball last week against Kansas State. And obviously, gave him 75 yards and a touchdown on the ground as well. So, like you said, I think these are two teams kind of in different directions in terms of momentum. So I'll take with the team that's kind of balling a little bit right now. I'll go with Houston.
I'll also take the Cougars. They're on a 2-game win streak, riding high off that big win last week against K-State. Against Utah, they actually kind of impressed me with their skill and with the quarterback, as you mentioned, Scott. I'm going to take the Cougars. I think they're just in every direction better and trending up compared to Arizona. So
yeah, and I mean, I don't know what Arizona is thinking they're going to do, but it actually sounds like there's momentum to get him fired.
I was just going to ask, do y'all think this is really going to be one and done for Brennan?
I mean, it's been bad, but what else was he supposed to do when Jed Fish kind of gutted the program?
He was supposed to win with the talent that they had.
They had a quarterback and a wide receiver. Yeah. That's what they had.
Yes, for sure.
I'm kind of with you, Jake.
But it's not changed that much from last year. They retained all of the big players except for the guys who went and left for the draft.
I mean, they lost their leading tackler, their leading rusher,
had a first-round tackle get drafted.
Yeah, they lost quite a bit.
All right. I think that this,
but it shouldn't be this bad.
Yeah,
no,
yes.
I agree. Yes. I agree with you there. It should not be this bad.
Would they won 10 games last year?
Yes.
Had they won 7?
Right.
This year, I would say, all right, there's some margins there where they lost this, that, the other. That team looks helpless, and it looks like they got space jammed.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I would probably
no. They're broken. You're right.
I would feel
definitely broken.
If I was a fan, I would be like, yeah, this guy's got to go.
Careful what you wish for, because this program has seen even darker days, and I don't think they're that far from going down that path.
And the reason why they're in this position in the first place is they couldn't afford to hire a good coach.
Well,
so they're worried about paying the money for the buyout.
Yes.
Then you got to find a whole new pool of money for the new coach's salary. And by the way, never looks good to the next coach if you fired the guy before him, essentially after 9 games.
That's true, but I mean, he was put in a weird position because Jed Fish, Kalen DeBoer didn't accept the Alabama job till after the national championship when almost everyone else already went through hirings. And now it puts Arizona on an even more of a back foot because Washington took their coach.
All right, too much Arizona airtime. That's all they get from us.
That is, yeah, we gave them too much there. Baylor traveling to West Virginia to take on the Mountaineers. Haven't watched Baylor in a couple weeks, actually. I don't know if you guys have been up to date on them. They are 2.5-point favorites, though, against West Virginia.
I'm going to take the Bears.
Yeah, Baylor's actually been playing pretty decent.
They have.
And they've always kind of been a decent team. I mean, they
have.
They almost beat Colorado. They almost beat BYU. Those are 2 teams at the top of the conference.
Yeah. I'm rocking with the Bears. Sawyer Robinson. Low-key one of my favorite quarterbacks in the conference.
It's kind of fun to watch.
He is. So I'm going to rock with
17 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. He's balling.
Bro. That's what he's low-key really nice. And they got a run game. That defense is better than people think. I like the Bears for sure. I like them to cover for sure, too.
This is a rare week where Scott and I are on the same page. I got Baylor as well.
I think I'm going to mix it up and take West Virginia here at home. They're coming off of 2 straight road wins.
Yeah.
And I just think I like that momentum, and they can run the ball, man. They really can.
Yeah, and this is something I do too often, but like I swore I wouldn't support West Virginia anymore after I was wrong about them 3 games in a row. So I'm like, all right, I'm on the opposite side for the rest of the year. And then they got it back and started going. So yeah, I'll probably end up being wrong, but I like what Baylor's doing right now. By the way, both teams playing for bowl eligibility, so it'll be a knockdown drag out.
Good point.
Definitely.
One of the games of the weekend, if not the game of the weekend in the conference, Arizona State traveling to K-State. Cam Scatterbo been dealing with some injuries, but sounds like he is going to play this weekend. Kansas State, of course, coming off that loss last weekend to Houston. The line is Kansas State -8 at home.
Yeah, I think there's a reason for that. In your opinion, who is the best team that Arizona State has played or beat this year?
I don't have them pulled up right now. Give me a minute.
All right, I'll give you their wins. So they lost to Texas Tech. They beat Kansas. They beat Utah. They lost to Cincinnati. They beat Oklahoma State. And they beat UCF.
The best team they played or their best win?
Best win.
I'm leaning UCF.
I mean, they also beat Mississippi State.
That's where I was
looking in conference.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, UCF last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, or Utah. Because Cam played that game.
You can only play who's in front of you, but I'm talking about the spread.
Right.
I think what Vegas is telling us is this is a whole different weight class, that Arizona State hasn't played in yet. And I think that will bear itself out in the game. So give me KSU. By the way,
wow.
Do you think that we can will we be done with work by the time this game starts? 5 o'clock?
God, I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so too.
That'd be so nice. That'd be so nice.
I was like, we got to take advantage of this. We haven't really been able to watch evening Saturday college football at all.
Yep.
Best we've got is like some 8 o'clock starts on the bus.
Yeah.
Maybe we come. I don't know what your plans are, but maybe we come back here and just drink
What's
and watch
up?
college football.
Sounds good to
What's
me.
up?
I'm picking Arizona State. All right, we got to pick it up here a bit. Cincinnati at Iowa State. The line is -9 for the Cyclones. Cyclones coming off a loss.
Just to go back, I definitely like Kansas State over Arizona State.
Okay. Cyclones have dropped 2 consecutive games.
And I think they get back right this week at home.
I think so too.
I will also take Iowa State. Next, we have Kansas going to Provo to take on BYU. BYU 2.5-point favorites. Are you guys going to do it?
Give me the Jayhawks.
All right.
Scott's going to do it. I'm going to take BYU. This line kind of reminds me of the UCF one, where I think Vegas is trying to say something, but I think BYU just runs away with this.
KU is, what a Jekyll and Hyde team this year.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting.
In
if
Provo.
they win this one.
Provo.
Yeah. If they win this one, I'll be curious to see what that does for the response for them next week in terms of fans showing up at Arrowhead.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of teams, their fans have probably just given up on the season. They have to win out to get to a bowl.
Yeah.
But I think the combination of the atmosphere and then, unfortunately, BYU has the magic dust. They're just figuring out a way, no matter what, no matter how. And, I got to see them truly lose one before I pick against them, especially as home favorites.
That place is going to be rocking. I'm taking the Cougars. Utah at Colorado. Colorado 11.5-point favorites.
We going scores too?
Yeah.
All right. I'm just going to do it. I went back and forth on whether or not I wanted to be this intense
Do it, bro.
with my prediction, but I'm going to do it anyway. Give me Colorado 31, Utah 7.
All right. That's
I like
BTA.
it. That's the definition of it. I like Colorado to win and cover as well. Give me the Buffs winning 27-13.
I was really close to that. I think Colorado will win decisively, but it will be not as high scoring and much more of a battle than people think. That being said, I was going to say CU 28-10.
Okay. So we're in the same ballpark. To me, it just comes down to can they get a good start on offense? Because I think if they can, then that number could go higher and higher. But in those games where it takes them a second to figure it out, diagnose it, which is okay, especially when you end up winning, then that's where I think you would see a score in the 20s. But I also think there could be a defensive score in this game.
Oh, absolutely. I could see
It's possible, yeah, no doubt. Or even special teams.
There's a world in which Travis Hunter gets his first long just 9-route touchdown where it's just you throw it over the top, he catches it in stride and goes. And we haven't seen that. And then of course the one that we've been really wanting is the pick six. And I'm curious to see what their approach is, because Texas Tech's approach was very obvious. Do not throw the ball anywhere near Travis Hunter. I'm curious to see if they are willing to do that at Utah.
Yep.
And if Isaac Wilson's smart enough to stick to it.
All right, let's take our final break, and we'll get to questions here very, very shortly. Shout out to the homies at UC Health. Big emphasis on men's health right now because we're stubborn, and we think we're doing better than we are doing. We just got to go get checked out from time to time, make sure we're staying on top of our health.
Definitely.
And UC Health is starting the conversation to get us to take better care of ourselves. There are a lot of ways men can do a better job taking care of their overall health, and talking about it is a good first step. So make sure you're up to date on your checkups. Manage your mental health. Manage your stress as well. Just be healthier. UC Health is trying to make it as easy as possible to get it done with online scheduling and other convenient features available in the UC Health app. So download that to get started. Let's talk about your tomorrow. Join the men's health conversation at uchealth.org/men's health.
Also, shout out to our friends over at Sleeper. If you feel
Saturday Neon.
Okay. I don't see that. Anyways, Saturday Neon. You guys love Spirit right here in front of us. If we can get a shot of the beautiful Spirit. These are honestly so sick. And that's the smallest one we have. We have a massive buffalo up in the bar.
We have a new smaller one.
You're right. We have an even smaller one. But they made us a custom one for the DNVR bar that's downstairs in the bar.
Sheesh.
Just beautiful, beautiful stuff from them. But I feel like, whatever your setup is where you watch the games, you got to have one of these on the wall. And when you use the code ALLCITY, that's one word, all caps, ALLCITY, you'll get 10% off your order from our friends over at Saturday Neon.
Shout out to the homies at Saturday Neon.
And if you feel like you know ball, you should go over to Sleeper Picks.
All right, let's get to the Toyota chat. Hit us with your questions. First up, Master Stick Work. Is Preston Hodge okay? Relatively. I think he'll be back at some point this season.
Okay. I am officially retiring from the injury update game.
Oh, you're just throwing it on us then?
If you want to.
It's on you, bro.
On me. Send all your injury questions to
you were just like, okay.
To at Ryan Koenigsberg on Twitter.
You can send them. I'm not like Jake where just getting mentioned bothers me.
No, I never said that.
Oh yeah. Jake has some times where he's like, why is someone tweeting this at me? Whereas if you tweet me something that I don't want to respond to, I just scroll right by and not respond. I don't do injury updates anymore.
I just wish I knew everything, and I don't. So
same, man.
I don't.
Fair.
Steven asks, when we make it to the playoffs, can our O-line hold up against SEC and Big Ten teams? That's the question. I'd be scared with this team going against Penn State, not going to
lie. I would love to find out.
Of course.
I would love to see these guys get a chance.
It's a good answer.
To answer that challenge.
I think it just all depends on which SEC and which Big Ten team. There's some that I love Colorado's matchup for, and there's others, like Penn State, for example, you don't feel as good about.
No. Best Man says, are there any injury updates on our rookie running back, Micah Welch? I have not heard anything on Micah Welch. Do not know.
All right.
Richie Valentine, here you go, RK. Uniform update. What are we wearing Saturday? Give me something, guys. Justin also wants to know what the hint for uniforms are.
I don't know anything about the uniforms, but I would recommend watching the Austin Powers series of movies.
Okay.
Okay.
Buffs News Weekly says, which player coming this weekend are you all most excited for? It's got to be Michael Carroll, right? I mean, that's a 5-star interior offensive lineman right there.
I think Owusu Boateng.
Okay. Cornell's coming back, too.
Is he visiting
Who?
NOB?
He was midweek with London Merritt.
Okay, all right.
They were there yesterday.
Yeah, count me in.
So you're going with the grown man, huh?
For real, bro. That guy looks just like a grown-ass man.
Yeah. For real.
Next one. Jay says, those Jake stories from the bus were hilarious. Jake, can you tell us another funny one? RK, can you tell us another with your stellar Jake impressions, brother? I don't know. What's a funny story? I don't even know what I'd share.
Those have to be in the moment.
Yeah.
Trying to think of a good Jake story. I feel like when I have a good Jake story, you guys get it immediately.
You get it right away. I get put on blast. I don't know.
All right.
I'm just doing my thing out here. I'm sure you'll hear one soon enough,
Yes,
though.
for sure. We got a 7 a.m. tailgate. I'm sure a good Jake story will come out of
Come
it.
on, please.
Oh, man.
Debbie asks, how is poor Jace Feely doing? I've heard absolutely nothing. Hashtag Longhorns be Buffs fan. Jace is he's recovering from his ACL surgery. We see him some days walking in and out of the facility at media, still on crutches. He's just going through rehab right now. Send him your good messages, though.
By the way, because the spelling of RK or whatever, just spelling of cars came up again.
Yeah, sure did.
Have any of you guys ever seen Cole Mathes's Twitter?
Can't say that I
The
have.
burner? Or
His name on Twitter, Cash Cole Mathis. Cash
with a
spelled with a K. You can spell anything however you want these days.
all right, whatever. Baroness says there will be snow on Saturday.
I don't think so.
I'd see 0% precipitation for Saturday right now.
Should be beautiful
go. Yeah,
morning
like solid
/ afternoon.
50s.
Yeah.
Yeah, high of
Perfect.
52.
Perfect. I should go dig up my tweet that I sent to Coach Prime the last time we were playing Utah at home about the weather being nice.
Man, doesn't that take you back thinking of that game?
It does. And then I think it was Andy McMahon who posted a video of his reaction to the first touchdown that the Buffs scored in that game, and just like panned around, and there was no one there. I mean,
Bro.
it actually was a 10 a.m. start, but the Buffs were down. I said 35 earlier this week.
42-0.
No, they were down 42-0 at halftime.
Yeah.
Gee, I seen that video too from that game, and that's just mind blowing to me because I haven't seen Folsom Field during a game not be absolutely packed with everybody in every single seat, pretty much.
That year, I mean, games were over at halftime. So after halftime, just bored up there because the game's a blowout. I'd try and find where RK and Allie were standing in the stands.
I remember
in
that.
Utah, I didn't even need to look hard because they were like some of the only
That's
people
crazy.
left.
Well, I was scrolling through his video going like, because at one point he kind of panned over to where I was sitting, and I was like, I think I can see me and my friends.
Yeah,
And
sure.
I don't leave games early. Like, that's like a core belief of mine.
Yeah.
It's
I
like
love
part of my morals, part of my belief system.
Attaboy.
Don't leave games early. Damn if I didn't think about it for that one. Because I was just like, I'm going to sit here for 2 more hours watching this?
Yeah.
Like, let's just at least go where the drinks are cheaper. And then I was like, nope. I'm a man of morals.
Wow.
Crazy.
What a time.
Lawrence with the super chat. Do you know what is the issue with Hank? Offhand, do you know who was plan B if Coach Prime wasn't hired? Scott, okay, we'll start with this one. Scott, how did it feel to get mentioned by Coach Prime?
It was a great feeling. Coach Prime didn't have to do that, so which makes it even cooler. He could have just answered my question and kept it moving, but, he noticed me, and so that was dope. Getting love from Coach Prime. Shout out to DNVR. Shout out to Unc Neely for sure. It was dope stuff.
It was also like a low-key shout-out that he's been watching.
Low-key?
Hell yeah.
100%.
We see you, Coach. Do you know what the issue with Hank is? We don't know. We kind of talked about it yesterday. If you go watch Coach Phil's press conference from yesterday, he talks about it. Then offhand, do you know who was Plan B if Coach Prime wasn't hired? I don't think there was a Plan B besides
Going
Coach
Plan
Prime.
A,
Yep.
in the words of John Elway.
Yep.
I'm sure there was. I don't even want to say it. It'll just depress me if I say some of the names that were out there. Now, RK and Jake's Plan B
Yes.
was Kurt Signetti.
Yep.
Hire us. Schools that are looking for coaches, hire us to do your coaching search.
We'll make it all in an easy-to-read tier list so you can go and just move from target to target.
Arizona might need y'all soon.
That's true. Arizona, you know what? Just because we know y'all are struggling, we're going to do it on the cheap. $100K each.
There you go. Let's go. Don Peasy at the Super Chat says, another great show. If we can snag all them IMG guys, just rename the school to Prime MG because that's what it'll be. This is amazing.
I was literally just thinking that. I was thinking Prime MG.
Hashtag Prime MG from Don Peasy.
Yep.
Shout out to you.
Tough.
Big TZ. Big TZ in the house. When time permits, can you play the prank video on Jake when he thought the show went on without him? No, we are never playing that again.
Yeah, because I got to see that.
I've never seen that.
I don't think so.
No.
So I got to see that.
Just go watch ASU pregame from last year. You can go watch it yourself.
I have it on deck. I will show
Say
it to you
less.
after
Oh
this.
my God.
Need that. Need that.
Honestly, that worked out so perfectly because your reaction was bad enough that I didn't want to do it to you again, but not so bad that you seemed like a poor sport.
You guys tested me in that moment. You truly tested me in that moment.
I got to see that, dog.
Test you, but you came through. You came through. You handled it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Holy shit! I forgot about that. That was so funny.
Last one from Titus. Is there a tailgate for the Kansas game next week? Yes, it should be up on our events page here later in the week, right?
Yes, and just a reminder that there's a tailgate this week. Tickets already going, and the best part about it, especially if you live on this side of town, you can get on the bus from the DNVR bar to the tailgate, from the tailgate to the game, from the game back to the DNVR bar, and that's what I plan on doing when we're done. Now we'll be done a lot later than you guys would be back here, maybe 2 hours after, but I plan on coming right back here, sitting at that table, and watching college football until the last play is snapped.
That's not true, Girls Club. I didn't even swear. I didn't even swear. I did not even swear.
No, I don't think you did.
I didn't. I didn't say much, honestly.
Because you were trying to like kind of keep it together because you thought we were on.
Yeah, because I thought we were actually live.
That boy was pressed. I can't wait to watch that.
Oh God! All right.
Y'all keep asking if I got on Crocs right now. Duh.
Yes,
So like, come on, be for real.
Got Procter, baby.
Shout out Crocs, man.
That's it. Pre-game tomorrow. Like I said, we already got a couple guests we're excited for. It's going to be a good one. Pre-games have just been off the chain lately, honestly.
Yeah.
Facts.
Make sure you tune in. All right, come hang out at the tailgate. We'll see you guys later. Let's go Buffs.
Let's go Buffs.
We all silly like the mayor.